Pennsylvania's state system of higher education. 14 universities, infinite opportunities.
Hi, I'm Chancellor Karen Whitney. Today we're going to be talking about how our 14 universities help students graduate. Today I'm joined by a terrific set of panelists that are going to talk about student graduation. So we're joined today with Tom Fletcher, who's Vice President of Strategic Enrollment Management at Bloomsburg University, Dr. Kim Garris, who's Associate Vice President for External Relations at Shippensburg University, and I think most important, we're joined by Rose Miller, who is pursuing a BAS in Technical Leadership at Bloomsburg. So welcome, panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Thank you. Hey, Rose, tell us a little more about yourself.
Okay. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, and I've enjoyed living here all of my life. I have been in banking for a number of years, and I now work at a community college. I never went to college when I was younger, and it's been a lifelong goal of mine. And so I am in the program at Bloomsburg University, just fulfilling that goal.
That's great. Thanks. Hey, Tom, how does Bloomsburg work with students to be successful and graduate?
So I will say, Chancellor Whitney, I'll piggyback off of Rose's story, and what's important for us today is to recognize that college today is lifelong learning. It's for all students from various situations. It's not just serving the 18 and 19-year-old traditional student coming out of high school. So we need to be very responsive. We need to be very proactive in planning program development. And most importantly, we need to recognize that all students today are in a very different situation than students of the past. They have busy lives, they have jobs, they have families, they have a lot of commitments on the go. So we need to recognize that, support that, and reach out along the pathway to ensure student success for all our students to completion.
Oh, sure, I understand that. Hey, Dr. Garris, what about Shippensburg?
Well, we do a lot of the same things that Mr. Fletcher's talking about, and some of the traditional things, articulation agreements with community colleges, a robust international program, study abroad. We do internship opportunities, which certainly broaden students' opportunities, distance education programs, online and hybrid, which helps those lifelong learners like Rose, undergraduate research programs, and support for faculty and student research, which helps students in their quest for maybe higher ed beyond an undergraduate degree. And then finally, dual enrollment programs like our Ship Start program. Just as we talk about the traditional student not being the majority of learners now, it's also true that our traditional student population is changing. The underrepresented population is one to be considered more carefully now, and programs like Ship Start, dual enrollment programs for high school students looking at colleges or people who thought they weren't even eligible for college. It's a perfect kind of way to onboard those kinds of students, to make them understand that college is a possibility.
Oh, thanks a lot for those good things that it's happening at Shippensburg. Now we're going to take a quick break and head out to East Stroudsburg University.
ClearPath is a $4 million National Science Foundation grant to bring community college transfer students to East Stroudsburg University and to support them.
So to become a ClearPath Scholar, you need to have a minimum of 45 credits. It doesn't have to be in science, it can be in any discipline.
Now you do have to, when you come to East Stroudsburg, major in a science, technology, engineering, or math, a STEM discipline.
I had gotten an email from my advisor at the community college I was at, and it was just the flyer for the ClearPath program. And I looked at it, and I just decided to apply for it that night and started the application process, and here I am.
Particularly when you're transferring, it's exceptionally important that you've had the right courses coming in and that you get placed properly into the most advanced classes that you're ready for and all of those things, and that you get good advice on how to take all the classes and everything. And we're trying to actually improve that.
Obviously, the scholarship is a lot of money and it eases the financial burden of continuing at a school, but also it just seemed like a lot more than just a scholarship. They seemed like they had a lot of opportunities through it.
Well, we're operating on what's called a cohort model, which means when we bring these students in, we want them to connect with each other as well as with us. And so in the fall we had a picnic, we're planning a trip to the Da Vinci Center, We have the tutoring support, we have the success seminars, which will help them with their academic skills and their study skills. And so we have put some mechanisms in place to try to support them and make them successful.
One of the ways we're doing that is through mentoring.
I transferred here a while ago, and I kind of like know like what the struggle is for like people transitioning from like one college to the other.
The peer mentors are predominantly junior and senior science students. We choose people who have really great outgoing personalities and who want to help. And sometimes I think they may be actually more important than us as advisors, because the students will ask them things that they may not feel comfortable asking a faculty member.
The program's giving me the network of support, like with the peer mentors, being able to go to them and ask questions, going to the Clear Path advisors and talking to them about things to kind of help figure out classes along the way and how to finish and really get through college to be able to go and do what I want to do in like the shortest amount of time possible.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about how we help students graduate. Dr. Garris, I'm going to start with you. Why are programs like Ship Start so important for students?
Well, they provide so many opportunities for underrepresented students, particularly, to close that achievement gap. So many of the traditional students have been prepped for college, but oftentimes our underrepresented students aren't. And they don't even see that it's possible. A dual enrollment program like Ship Start teaches that grit, that sort of stick-to-itiveness that they need. It teaches self-regulation, career management skills, those things that they aren't necessarily modeled in their homes. It gives that opportunity to see that. It reduces the gap, too, between what high school teachers perceive as college readiness and what college professors perceive as college readiness. One study noted that only one quarter of college professors reported that they thought students were well prepared or very prepared for college. But when these students step into these dual enrollment programs, they understand what the expectations are, and they carry that back to their high schools. It really creates a better environment, a more college-ready environment for everyone. So these programs are very important.
Boy, that's exciting. Thank you. Hey, Tom, why are partnerships with community colleges so important for Bloomsburg, and really for all the universities?
Sure. So as I look at our system as a whole, Chancellor Whitney, and look at the 14 schools and how we span the state, and then compare us and match us up with the 14 community colleges across Pennsylvania, two great systems. As those systems team together, I look at the combined forces as a real strong element to support the needs of the Commonwealth. So we know that students today have to find their niche, and then many times don't have the ability to move away onto our campuses. They're grounded based on their life situations, and the community college is a perfect home to help students develop not only the experience, but the confidence to recognize how successful they can be. We hear a lot about career pathways today, so through the partnerships with community colleges, the state system is able to form those alignments and help students demonstrate success from a community college into transfer at one of our sister institutions.
Wow, that's really important. Hey, Rose, how did your program at Bloomsburg meet your needs as a student?
The program at Bloomsburg, the BASTL program is a very special program that is designed around community colleges. So it gives community college students a unique opportunity to take advantage of classes that are close to them. They don't have to commute to Bloomsburg. They don't have to go to any place far away. The BASTL program is built around the community college so that you can take classes that are either in your college that you went to as a, an associate's degree student, or they're in my particular situation. There's the state system of higher education is here in Harrisburg at the Dixon University Center, and so some of the classes are there. So they're very close to me. They're either at my college, 10 minutes from me, or online. So it allows me to have the rest of my life.
So really the program met you where you needed to be.
Absolutely.
Versus the other way around.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's terrific. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick break and go visit Mansfield University.
My friends who are in other majors, and they're not very aware of the demands that, being a biology major, comes with. And so, it definitely is vigorous, but, that this is my passion. And so, I really can't see myself doing anything else.
My academics are my schooling is very important to me, and it always will be important to me, more so than the social stuff where with some of the people it's social academics, and I'm like, no, I have a huge drive that I didn't see myself for 4 years, and then I got it back and I was like, yes, let's do this.
Art is something that I've always loved, and I could do that for hours and be happy with it. So, I made the switch to graphic design, and it just so worked out that I took enough biology classes that I had a minor in biology. So, I'll have to find some way to tie them together in the future.
Well, I think student athletes are looked at very highly at Mansfield. Athletics is a big part of who Mansfield is as a school, and we have to set the role for people to look at, and that's pretty much it. That's your role as a student athlete.
I knew in order to be successful, I definitely had to buckle down and to get my stuff done. And there was no goofing off, going to have parties, and it made me realize that this is no joke. This is real life. This is serious. If I want to do good in life, I'm going to have to do good in college.
You have nothing but opportunity here. It's just up to you to just go out and just try to make it happen.
I am currently working with the marketing department on campus. I'm doing all of the media. I work with a team and more students. And then in spring 2018, I'm going to be creating more web stories for the new website. So that's really exciting. I'm really excited to have that experience for me when I go and find a real job.
When I graduate in the spring, I'm going to be working at AVRE, that stands for Association for Vision Rehab and Employment. I'm going to be working with the visually impaired stuff as how to go grocery shopping, what aisle I need to find, or walking to the doctor's office.
That's what Mansfield did. It connected me to so many different things. I wouldn't even think I would be here standing today in this sense. I will be applying to grad school actually next year to continue on, and maybe the PhD. Mansfield definitely gave me that motivation, and the advisor here gave me that motivation too to continue on. So it's perfect.
Welcome back. We're talking about how students graduate at our 14 state universities. Hey Rose, what attracted you to Bloomsburg's a Bachelor of Applied Science and Technical Leadership program?
What attracted me originally was that this program is a unique kind of program. It takes people who have gone to a community college and gotten an associate's degree and then find that maybe that associate's degree isn't going to work for them when they want to go back and get a higher degree. If they want to go back for a bachelor's, a lot of times someone who's gotten a career associate degree can only take 10, 12 credits with them. Sure. And it's a kind of a disappointing surprise when they get to the college and find out that they're not going to be able to transfer in 40 or 50 credits. So this program allows you to take most of the credits that you've earned in an associate's degree, and it just builds around that with prescribed programs, prescribed classes, that once you finish them, you have your bachelor's degree in technical leadership, so that you can really come from almost any type of associate's degree and do the program at Bloomsburg and walk out with a bachelor's degree, which is just a huge thing for most people who are looking at starting over.
That's really exciting. Hey, Tom, explain how the Bachelor of Applied Science and Technical Leadership supports the Commonwealth's needs. What are your thoughts?
And I'll expand on Rose's story because she just does such a phenomenal job of setting it all up. So I'll take it back 5 years ago when we first looked at this program, and actually it was at the time Lehigh Carbon Community College that approached us and had this concept to form a seamless pipeline for a transition from their graduates of associate and applied science degrees into a Bachelor of Applied Science degree. What we found is many of the AAS degree holders were so successful in their fields and in their trades, but they'd get to the point they'd hit that glass ceiling and they just didn't have additional opportunities for higher education. And as such, they weren't able to advance in the position. So as the program was developed, it was developed with the student and the end result in mind is how do we advance the skill set for employment and job opportunities and promotions to support the needs of students across the Commonwealth. So beyond the first program at Lehigh Carbon, we've now expanded and we're now on location at a total of 5 community colleges. Wow. As Rose said, students are required to have a completed associate degree to gain entrance into the program, and then we matriculate them in with 60 credits. So they enter as juniors. Bloomsburg goes to their community colleges to offer the program. So you cannot complete the degree in Bloomsburg. So between online learning and face-to-face, we deliver the program only on the campuses of the community colleges. And last week we had an advisory board meeting, and it's really the testimony of the success of the program because we had 4 adult students there, all working in their fields, very successful jobs in the Lehigh Valley. And as a result of this program, these individuals have now received advancement opportunities after graduating from the program and getting the additional skills they need to meet the needs of the workforce. So we're really looking at not only are we filling the needs of the student audience, but we're protecting and keeping jobs right here in Pennsylvania, giving students the opportunity to advance in their careers.
Again, really meeting students where they are versus expecting them to come to where we are.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's exciting.
Being responsive to their needs.
There you go. Well, Dr. Garris, how does ShipStart impact retention and graduation rates at Shippensburg University?
Well, and we kind of do, with our dual enrollment program, the ShipStart program, we kind of do the opposite, where we offer an opportunity for students who want to see what it's like to be in a campus environment, the opportunity to do that in advance of that sort of stark, here you are, now you're in college, experience that many students face. And so our dual enrollment program allows you while you're in high school to do that. And what happens then is that you're indoctrinated into that culture. It makes you more successful once you go to college, whether you go to a state system school, which is our hope, of course, or some other school, you're more prepared. Studies show that students who participate in dual enrollment programs have greater retention in their first year, in their second year, they graduate sooner, they have higher GPAs, they just do better overall. They get done quicker because they are more focused. They've had a chance to explore, to see what they might be interested in. They've rubbed elbows with faculty who are in those disciplines, who've been out in the professional workforce, as well as students who've done internships who have experienced the discipline. So it's just a great opportunity for students to get a chance to see how successful they can be in college, and just that opportunity itself improves retention and graduation rates.
Wow. Well worth it.
Yeah,
wow.
absolutely.
Thank you. Hey, now we're going to take a quick break and head out to Edinboro University.
In an effort to reduce hurdles for our adult and transfer student population, we've streamlined the admissions process. So once a student applies to university, we are very transfer and credit awarding friendly. You know, we want to maximize that student's effort.
We have 3 main parts of what we would consider accelerating a student's degree completion here at Edinboro. This would work for adults and transfers, and sometimes traditional students as well. The first is through something called CLEP exams. It stands for College Level Examination Program. The second way is through life experience, and then the final way is through something called competency exams. Competency exams are similar to CLEP exams, except that it's not a national testing program. It's something we do locally in-house. And then transfer credits as well.
The admissions staff worked with me to get courses transferred in, and those that didn't transfer in and needed override, they got to override by the dean.
One of the things that my office does is we take a look once a transfer student has all of the credits transferred in from their previous institution. We take a look to see how did they transfer. Are they fulfilling degree requirements here?
So the EU admissions did a wonderful job helping me get my credits to transfer. We sat down, reviewed the classes that I took, and reviewed the curriculum that I needed for Edinboro. And I was lucky everything transferred smoothly. I had a good head start on my core classes, and I was in a good spot with my major.
Definitely transferring, the professors have made it a lot easier by making you feel more welcome into their classrooms and stuff. And they're always available, like even outside of their office hours. So like if you run into them on campus, they're more than willing to stand there and talk to you for 5 minutes.
My biggest fear when coming to Edinboro was that I didn't know anyone, and it was away from home. And that was almost immediately addressed when I got here, because the dormitories have a great environment. You're able to be placed on a floor with people of similar interests to you, so you instantly make friends.
Definitely transferring from a community college where I just stayed at home to living onto a campus. The admissions staff and all of the faculty, RAs have all been really great into making sure that the transition has worked out really well.
I think what makes Edinboro University a great place for all students from all backgrounds is Edinboro has a great way of showing their appreciation towards the students that are coming here.
You know, we are vested in our students' success. We are here to support our students from day one. We work with them from inquiry, through application, through admission, through enrollment once they are here, and put them on a path for success as we guide them through towards the graduation.
Welcome back. We're talking about how we help students graduate. Hey, let's talking about that, Dr. Garris. How does Ship Start make college more affordable for students? Because I think a lot of times people think about the cost and how to go about it. You know, what do you have to say? How does Ship Start help?
Well, it helps tremendously. First of all, because students are in high school being dually enrolled in college courses, they're cheaper. So right away, they're taking college credits at a lower tuition rate. So they're getting classes out of the way. So they can spend less time in college. So on tuition alone, it's cheaper. But then you say you're spending less time in college. We know what that means. Less time for room and board, less time or less money for all of those kinds of expenses. You get an earlier focus, as we talked about in our last segment, and because of that earlier focus, you're probably going to spend less time on classes you didn't need. So that sets you up for the opportunity to graduate even sooner. And you're more likely to enter college closer to high school. We all know that tuition rates seem to rise each year. Well, if you can do it sooner after you graduate from high school, it's likely that your tuition is going to be cheaper all 4 years, or however long it takes you to finish. The goal could be that you could finish even before the 4 years if you've taken enough classes and you've been focused enough. So, but statistics say that particularly for underrepresented populations who are not as successful in a 4-year program, that when they dually enroll, finish college in 4.6 years as opposed to their colleagues who do not take these dual enrollment programs who finish in over 5 years. So there is success proven in this program for completing college and saving money.
Of course, the completing is the most affordable, because not completing is not affordable.
You know, you make a very good point that I left out, Chancellor.
No, I just want, that's very important, the completion
Yes.
rate. There you go. Well, Tom, how do Bloomsburg programs consider what students want?
So again, to some of our earlier comments, Chancellor, it really begins with the students. We are all here, all 14 of us collectively, to support the 100,000 plus students across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So our jobs are to first and foremost listen to the students. What are their needs? Meet them where they want to be met, to your earlier comment. But beyond that, as an institution, we need to plan around what are the trends, what are the enrollment, what are the programmatic elements that they need. So on our campus, we went through a very comprehensive enrollment management planning process for the last 18 months to identify the future, the next 5 years. What are they going to look like? What are the needs of the students? How do we align our programs, not only the current programs, but new programs? But then beyond that, how and where do we deliver these programs to the students? Recognizing that everyone is a potential college student today, and we have to be responsive to that, we have to listen to their needs, and we have to plan accordingly to support their best interests and their student success.
Well said. Thanks a lot, Tom. Hey, Rose, what advice, you get the last word, what advice would you give to students wanting to start or finish their degree?
Oh, I would say just go for it. There are so many scary things in this world. And, you know, facing going to school, if that wasn't something that you were familiar with, if you didn't have the opportunity that Kim pointed out to us that they're offering now to high school students, and if you didn't have that opportunity, or if you did have that opportunity, go for it. Education is something that no one can ever take away from you. It is something that is so important. It helps you to get a better career. It helps you to just be a more well-rounded person. Just don't wait. Don't wait. It's and if, as we were talking about in the break, there are so many opportunities in the state system of higher education that you can get a program like Bloomsburg, you can get a program like Shippensburg, you can get almost anything that you're looking for. If you look among the colleges, if you look for what if you are searching for something, you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to find the right program. Don't stop.
Well said. We'll end on that. Hey, that's all the time we have today. Thank you to our panelists, and thank you for watching and for learning more about your state universities.
Come back next week to learn more of the infinite opportunities at the state system's 14 universities, or visit us online